I guarantee that if you use this landing page strategy, you will have better results than anything else you can find on the internet, because I am the best in the world at this, and also probably one of the most humble people on YouTube. In this video, I'm going to explain what is a landing page. I'm going to show you some landing page examples, some really good ones, and I'm also going to show you how to do landing page SEO optimization, as well as how to create a really good landing page. Whether you're generating leads or trying to sell something, what have you, I'm going to cover it all on this video. So what is a landing page? A landing page is a standalone web page designed with a single goal, such as signing up for an email list, purchasing a product, or downloading a resource. So this is a really great example of a landing page that's generating a ton of customers for this business. The headline, of course, gives us a really good idea of what this landing page is about. The subheadline talks to that headline, and then there's some social proof, there's an offer, a form, a call to action just right in front of your face, and different ways that people might be able to reach out. With a landing page, you're usually looking for one, maybe two ways to convert that visitor to either a lead or a sale. So something that's really important on a landing page like this one, just being an example, is the social proof that's thrown right up here at the top. This shows visitors that this is a reputable business, has 40 plus Google reviews. Social proof's really important. Also some emotional triggers and maybe some features. Things like over 15 years of experience, 7,000 plus happy customers, quick turnaround time. Sometimes people are visiting a landing page for services that they want, but they just don't know how to search for them. So a good landing page will usually cover some other information, some other services or products that might align really well with the intent of the person visiting the page. Another example of a landing page would be this one. This is a landing page for an actual website. Yeah, landing pages don't just have to be one page. They can be a page inside of a website. In this case, this landing page is the home page of their website. And as a matter of fact, this landing page gets over 100 leads a month just by this little offer right here up at the top on this form, and the people visiting from their Google business profile. So that's why a landing page is really important. And it's really important to have the right setup on the landing page. Again, we see a lot of the strong fundamentals in this landing page that we saw in the other one. A really clear and concise headline with a supporting subheadline, social proof, and then some emotional triggers. This landing page confirms that this business also offers adult and kids classes, amateur and pro training, and it really just fills the gap with a lot of the emotional triggers, or these call outs, as I like to call them. And then we talk about some other services on this page. Really great thing to do to hit all of the different personality types is add some reviews, because you are going to have some of the amiable personality types that just want to know what other people think. And we've seen people just sit here and scroll through reviews for 10 minutes before with the data signals that we get from our landing pages. So it is really important to have some social proof and to have some reviews on the landing page. And a landing page can work without being really long, containing a lot of information. Case in point, this business gets over 100 leads every month, and there's not a lot of information on this page. It's just a very clear and concise landing page with a call to action and an offer. Here's another landing page. This one calls out a particular niche, and then it also has the offer right front and center. This particular landing page has urgency to move people into taking the next step and reaching out and becoming a customer. This landing page also on the form is driving people into a guarantee. This is a free website that brings you more customers, and it's guaranteed. So we have some social proof all over the place here, how we got them 100 plus leads from one free website, and then we have some emotional triggers as well. But this would be more feature-based than emotional triggers. The emotional triggering part about this is that these features are irresistible, and the offer is pretty much a no-brainer. So again, just a really basic page with some reviews, and then some cool little knickknacks and some other services that people might be looking for that are visiting a page like this with clear and concise call to action. So how do you actually build a landing page that is this great? I actually set up a template for you. I want to walk through it and tell you what all of the stuff that you see on these landing page examples that I showed you, how that comes together and what this means. And then we're also going to talk about how do we SEO optimize these landing pages. So to start, The headline of a landing page, a really good landing page, especially if you're in the service industry, would be you'd have your main service and the service location. That's the first thing that people need to see when they visit a landing page before anything else happens, so that they can confirm in their mind whether or not they're in the right place. So in this case, our goal with the headline is to reassure the person that they're in the right place. If you're running a Google ad, the headline should contain the most targeted keyword of the Google ad. Or if you're driving traffic from Google Maps or SEO, the headline should confirm why the traffic is there. What is the point of being there? And also where the service is being provided, or what exactly are the features of the product if it's a product. The subheadline always supports the headline. So in this case, we explain the main value point and how does it work. And here you might describe pricing or provide more details about the offer or the service. We're going to have some social proof. This is so important. When I added this little badge on my landing pages, I started doing it on all of them. I noticed a jump in conversions when I started adding the social proof at the top of the page, just above the fold. And the reason why is because there are 4 different personality types. And one of them is the amiable and another one is the expressive. And they really love social proof. So if you're trying to trigger the personality type of the amiable and the expressive, social proof is going to be the way to go on the landing page. Now, there are 2 other personality types that are a little bit more difficult. And I'll talk about those here in a little bit. Those are the analytical people and the drivers. So we have our emotional triggers. So in the emotional triggers, these are what I like to call them. These could be features or value points that make it a no-brainer. But in these little check marks, we have the value proposition. Why choose us? If we have more experience, if we've assisted thousands of customers, we had 5-star reviews, all of these cool things. Quick turnaround time. Speed is king, right? So like any landing page that says, we're going to do what you want us to do and we're going to do it really fast, those are winners. Those are always winners because people just want stuff and they want it now, right? So landing pages that express speed, value, no-brainer, offers, things like that, irresistible offers, those are going to do the best. So moving up here to the form, speaking of irresistible offers, a couple offers that I have ran in the past that seem to work really good are either $50 off or 50% off or free. Obviously, free is good too, but when you do free, a lot of people think, what is the catch? Right? So percentage off or a dollar amount off, and then go look at the competition. You're not just going to be a landing page secluded to yourself, right? A landing page is going to be competing with other landing pages before somebody clicks into it, and they might see a better deal before they go into your landing page. So make sure that you're not the lemonade stand right next to another lemonade stand. In this case, I'm using an analogy, and your lemonade stand is 50 cents more expensive for a cup of lemonade than the lemonade stand next to you. That's a really important point about landing pages. Be competitive. A good landing page is always going to be competitive with the other landing pages out there that are like it. I like to do a sub-headline of the offer headline on the form where I say, fill in your details to redeem this offer for new customers. So we want to make the offer seem like it's only available on this page. It's exclusive to this form. And then also here at the bottom of the form, I did notice a big conversion rate increase when we changed this button text to next instead of having redeem offer or submit or things like that. Because what this does from a psychology standpoint is it lowers the actual barrier to entry because they don't think they're submitting their information to you, which they are, and they're going to go to a thank you page after this. But the people think that they're going to the next step in the process. And usually they are, where we'll put a booking form on the next page. But this is a really great way to capture the person's information before they get cold feet. Is we used the next button and we noticed that our conversion rate went up. And that's why you're going to see the next button on most of the landing pages that I've created. It's because it just works. The next button is a marvel. Test it out for yourself and see if that's going to be a fit for you. Moving on into what makes this landing page really great, we have that services section. The actual title here might be covering all of your roofing needs if you're a roofing company, or our services. It could be something as simple as our services. And then down here we have H2 tag services, or these could be features of a product or a single service. Then you're going to have the features. So you'll have some emotional triggers here, and then you might decide to have 3 to 6 features of what sets you apart in that arena. So this doesn't have to be services, but I like to emphasize more for the analytical personality type in this section, where people like to read and understand more about the service and what's included. So that's how we hit the analytical personality type. And then our review section. Probably the most important part of the landing page is that you have some social proof, is that you have some reviews to showcase. And if you don't have reviews and you follow this system, you follow this landing pages, and you follow this template, you'll probably still get some conversions, but maybe somewhere around 20% less is what we would see when you don't have reviews. All of these things with the reviews really have to come together to create a really solid landing page. I like to have a map. This could be a photo gallery. If you're trying to showcase something, you have photos here, you can have a map here that links to the Google Business Profile. For you local service businesses, it's important to have the Google Business Profile linked on your landing page, especially if you're wanting to do SEO for your landing page. I've created landing pages like this for businesses to run Google ads and Facebook ads that blew their ranking out of the water that they were having with their regular website. Like, we just did this basic SEO strategy on these landing pages, and we got amazing SEO results for them from an organic standpoint and then also an ads standpoint, which ads is usually going to be rocket fuel to organics. So here's how to do SEO optimization on your landing page. The headline is going to be the only H1 tag on the page. Make sure you tag this with the H1 tag, and then it has the most targeted keyword or service that people will be coming to the page to learn about or to take the next step on. So that would be the H1 tag. Use H2 tags throughout the page. Probably different services that might be offered, things of that nature. And then just make sure these things are tagged, and you can have multiple H2 tags, but you only want to have one single H1 tag, and that will be the headline. All of the images on a landing page need to have alt text for SEO. In this software that I'm using to build this website builder, it makes it really easy. We just click on the element and then we can name what this image is. So the alt text is just going to be a description of the image. Short description, doesn't need to be long. In this case, this might be a fence repair service that we're offering. So we'll name this fence repair and replace. This would be gutters, something about gutters, gutter installation, siding, so siding replacement for the alt text for this image. So that kind of gives you an idea of how that works. Some of these big paragraphs, they really don't need to be tagged with SEO. You could use H4 tags or different types of tags there. Not as important as the H1 tag, H2 tags, and the alt text on the images. There's some SEO metadata that needs to go into a page. So in order to get the SEO metadata right, I usually just use the headline, making sure that it's not too long. I might need to shorten the headline for the actual content title on the SEO metadata. So this is what is going to be listed on Google, the headline and the description of the actual indexed listing of this website. So this is how you do the naming convention of that and kind of set that up to show the way that you want it to show. So in doing that, you're going to put your headline inside of the title and maybe the business name if you have a business name. The description, I usually use the subheadline as the description. And then I'm going to add some keywords. My most targeted keywords of the landing page are going to be right here, separated by commas, just like this. Make sure you add an author and add a social image. It's important to add a social image, and that's usually going to be the logo or the best image that would describe whatever this page is about. Throw some custom meta tags in. Usually the meta tags are just going to be the higher targeted keywords that I'm going to use on the site. I really don't go too crazy with these, but I think it's still important to have them filled out. And that is how you SEO optimize a landing page. Now remember, there's one more step here, and it is that you have to connect it to Google Search Console. The page that they're on is not always going to be the page that people are going to stay on after they submit a form or go to the next step. You could funnel this and bring them to another step. On the thank you page, if you have a landing page, you're usually going to have a thank you page. On the thank you page is where you would put your tag. If you're trying to track a specific conversion or an event, you can put your tag on this page. Or if you're using different tag types, like maybe through Tag Manager or Facebook Conversions API, this is the place where you could tag that conversion event. So if you're wondering where to get this template, and how to get access to this software, I'm going to put a link in the description down below. I will build you a landing page for your business for free. All I ask is that you pay for the software. The software is really cool. The landing page is probably the most important part, but the software really helps increase the revenue from the leads that you're getting in from the landing page after they've already submitted the form. Hey, if you got value out of this video, please consider subscribing, and I wish you the best on your journey. Bon voyage.